Hare Krishna, you can start, Mataji, from here, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta.
Okay. Hare Krishna to everybody. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakayah Chakshura Unmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In continuation of reading Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta liked to make his disciples into sannyasis, but one day one of his sannyasi disciples was forcibly dragged away by his wife. In tears, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta lamented that he was unable to save that soul, yet he did not speak despairingly of Krishna conscious family life. I would have sex hundreds of times if I thought that I could raise Krishna conscious children. He would send his brahmacharis out to sell the Gaudiya Mata magazine and books, and even if a brahmachari were able to sell only one or two, it would please him very much, and he would exclaim, "You are so nice." In considering whether essays were worthy for publication, he would count how many times the word Krishna or Chaitanya had been used. If these holy names had been quoted sufficiently, he would say, "That's all right, this can be used." He would say in Bengali, "Prana acheyar se hetu prachar." A person must have life to be a preacher. A dead man cannot preach. When some of his preachers who had gone to chant and speak reported that no one had attended their meeting, Srila Bhakti Siddhant replied, "That doesn't matter. The four walls will hear you. That is sufficient. Don't be disappointed. Go on chanting." And in commenting on the fact that some of his disciples had fallen away, "Some of the soldiers will die," he said. But he did not want his disciples to lead an easy-going life. He once criticized a disciple as being easy-loving, nor should they attempt to practice austerities in seclusion. He would sing a song of his own composition, Dushtamana Tumi Kisera Vaishnavaha. My dear mind, what kind of Vaishnava are you? You are chanting Hare Krishna in a solitary place, imitating the great saint Haridasa Thakur and Rupa Goswami. But your meditation is actually to think of women and money. Your mind is filled with such dirty things, so your bhajana is simply cheating. He thought that if a devotee gave up his preaching in the city in favor of solitary meditation, that was a method of cheating by imitating the great saints in hopes of getting cheap adoration from others. Therefore, Srila Bhakti Siddhant never liked to open a branch of the Gaudiya Mata in a place that was not very much populated. Abai went on listening to his spiritual master at every opportunity, but rarely did Abai put a philosophical inquiry before him. He preferred simply to listen. Srila Prabhupada, I never asked my spiritual master a question except one: "How shall I serve you?" Abhay Charan De became prominent in the pharmaceutical business. He worked well for Bose Laboratory, and other companies wanted him as their agent. He had hopes of becoming rich. Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, ordered me, "You do this." But I thought, let me first of all become a rich man, then I shall do. In the beginning, I was thinking, now my god brothers have taken sannyas. They are begging from door to door. Why shall I beg? Let me earn money and start Krishna consciousness. The biggest pharmaceutical company in India, Bengal Chemical, made him an offer, but when they did not fulfill all his conditions, he turned them down. Though later he regretted it, still there were good signs. The astrologer had predicted he could become one of India's richest men, and Dr. Karthik Bose had told his father-in-law he is a very intelligent man. But there were also other signs. As many accounts as he had secured by his wide travels, there were also that many bills to collect. Many of the accounts began to fall behind in their payments, and the accumulated debt began to grow until he owed Bose Laboratory a total of 10,000 rupees. And Abe had enemies. The manager who had taken over Abe's old position as office manager with Bose Laboratory in Calcutta tried to turn Dr. Bose against Abe in, uh, insinuating that he was too independent. They had heard of his negotiating with Bengal Chemical, and the new manager attributed the accumulating debt to a base lack of loyalty to the Home Office. Karthik Bose remained favorably inclined towards Abhay, but when the debt became a financial strain, he went to Allahabad to investigate. At Prayag Pharmacy, he spoke with Dr. Ghosh, who told him he is a very honest man. It is no fault of his. In good faith, he gave all these chemical drugs and credit, but he can't realize the money. All right, Dr. Bose said, but I can't go on giving him money. Abhay went over the accounts with Dr. Karthik Bose, and they both agreed that the best way to settle the matter was for Dr. Bose to take over the Prayag pharmacy and all of Abhay's accounts. Thus, Abhay was absolved of debt but unemployed. Atulananda Brahmachari approached him. Why don't you come to Matha? Now you are free. Abhay began to visit more frequently the nearby Rupa Goswami Mutt, where the Gaudiya Mutt men, in their renounced Brahmachari spirit, suggested that he depend completely on Krishna, give up the world, move in with them, and become a full time preacher. But for Abhay, there was no question of abandoning business. If he did, what would happen to his wife and children? He and Radharani now had a third child, a son, so the financial responsibility was increasing. The brahmacharis were well intentioned in asking him to renounce the world, and it was fine for them to do so, but Abhay couldn't take it very seriously. Without work, he was in a critical situation, but he remained confident and eager to take on new employment. There were other companies that would like to have him as their agent, and some of his old customers wanted him to serve them. Even if he weren't Boseman, Abhay thought about starting his own pharmaceutical industry. Finally, he decided he would start his own factory, but in a much bigger city than Allahabad. He settled on Bombay. He decided that his family should remain in Allahabad and he and his brother would travel to Bombay, take an apartment, and survey the prospects for starting a factory there. Although Radharani was used to her husband's traveling, it had never been as extended as this promised to be. Abhay talked with her, explaining that his recent business loss had been the arrangement of Krishna. Now, again, to provide for his family, he would have to start a large business, and that could best be done in a major city like Bombay. But finally, life in Allahabad would be temporarily disrupted. He set up a very small pharmaceutical manufacturing operation there in Allahabad, put his nephew Tulsi in charge, and left for Bombay with his brother. In Bombay, Abhay rented an apartment on Grant Road and applying the knowledge he had gained as a manager of Bose Laboratory, started his own pharmaceutical factory. Business was going well when a large company, Smith Institute, wanted him as their sales agent. Abhay took the job thinking that he could earn money as Smith's representative while at the same time developing his own business. He was confident of his ability to earn money in the pharmaceutical line. While traveling around Bombay on business, Abhay met some members of the Gaudiya Mutt, Bhakti Rakshaka Sridhara Maharaj and Bhakti Saranga Goswami, senior sannyasi disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Abhay recognized them as respected God brothers and well versed in the scriptures and Vaishnava philosophy. It seemed it was destined to find his God brothers wherever he went. Both he and the sannyasi regarded their apparently odd meeting in the city as auspicious. Like the members of the Gaudiya Mutt he had met in Allahabad, these preachers had no permanent center, but they were trying to start one. On behalf of Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati, they were going door to door soliciting supporters for a Bombay branch of the Gaudiya Mutt. So I stop here for today's reading and proceed for chanting.